everybody, I am back for episode 4. This should be episode 3, but I tried to record that a few times and had problems with audio, and I had another problem with the video. So we are just skipping episode 3 and going right to episode 4. But I'll give you a quick introduction here of what I did. As you can see, I changed the background and switched it to the nav bar, and then I made the rest of it white. I just inverted these. It used to be white and then green, but now it's green and white. And those all work the same. The next thing I removed was these character tiles, like these ones right here. And then I just went through the rest of the links as well. I did make them so they'll kind of fall down depending on the screen height or the screen width. And also I added mobile, which will shrink the side nav down. Should look something like this on a mobile device. And if you are interested or if you don't know, to change the screen is you have to use the media tag. I'm not going to make a full episode about this, but if you are interested, just let me know. I can explain how the media tag works and how to adjust it for different screen sizes. But currently the website runs off of 600 pixels. Anything less than that, it will shrink down to the mobile format. I could do it under 800. That might actually be a little bit better. Maybe 850. I'll actually probably do 850 for that. That might look better. We can always test that out here. Just try with 800. There we go. But the next part will be going over PHP. We're going to make a tiny framework that will show each page that we want to load without having to type out all of the nav bar stuff each time. Let's see, here we go. Like all of this, we don't want to have to put this in 100 different pages. Then if we decide to change one thing, then we have to change it all. So we will make a simple little PHP framework that will load the page we want inside these page tags. And to do that, we are going to need an htaccess file. This will control redirecting sort of the link or the URL to what file we want to load, and it will always send us to the controller.php file, except if it's any URL that ends with .gif, JPEG, PNG, CSS, JS, pretty much any audio, video, or text type file that we want to let someone view. This will also help protect against help keep data safe, although it's not too much of a big deal. It does also block robots, some robots. And if you do want a robot file or a README file, you'd have to add the extension here. But everything will go to the controller, and it will all be under the path, the get path variable. So let's create a controller file. Just call it controller.php. And in here, Just say echo controller is working. Then we'll save that. There we go, controller is working. So we'll make a new folder called pages, and basically our controller will load everything inside the pages if it exists. Otherwise we can put in like an error page or something similar to that. So we'll go back to our index.html. Let's rename this file to template.php. And in here, we will remove all of this stuff that's just related to the actual page. In here, in our pages, we'll add index.php, since an index is the default page. And we'll save that right there. So back to our controller, we're going to set a var path. I'm just going to make it equal nothing for now, and then we'll require template.php. Then inside the template.php, we're going to want to include, actually we could use require path. And just to test this out, let's use the index. So pages/index.php. There we go. Since it's just going, no matter what you type, it will always go to the index. Well, here's a unique problem we found. When there's two slashes, it's going to want to mess with the CSS and the JavaScript. So we'll have to fix that in our template. We'll do another thing called URL. And we'll just type in localhost for now. Go back to our template and we'll add localhost. URL. We could actually add this to all of these, but there is a shortcut that we can automatically add it to them all without having to type that in. But I'll just do it this way for now so you can see how it works. Let's check our head. Go back here, URL, localhost. Adding it, so we will check. Actually, I think there's a short think this is the short way to display it. Nope. Echo. Still showing undefined on line 12. There we go. Alright, let's see if that is the shortcut. Yeah. So we'll just cut all these down to the shorthand. I know that the shorthand doesn't work on all PHP versions, so you'd have to check your version. I'm pretty sure it works on everything above PHP 5. There we are. So no matter what we type, it should always load. Always load to the index page. But we're going to have to use the controller for that. So we can say, we could put in each individual path if path equals index. Actually, we'll just say if path equals null. We'll say path equals index.php. And else, actually we'll just remove that for now. At the end, we're going to always want to add pages, just so we can go into that directory. I don't want to put it on each one just because that will be a lot of extra code. But we can go else path equals do error.php. Load that. If error failed to load, so we'll just create a new file, error.php. Backup unknown error. Actually, we could just say page not found. Reload that, page not found. Just go to plain localhost. So we're going to want to change this to actually get the URL. There's tons of different ways to get the URL. Now I'm going to actually use server. I think it's request URI. We'll just test this out. We'll actually echo it out on the error page. I'm gonna have to print R it because it's an array. There we go. Undefined. So we'll just do server. Make sure I type that right. Oh, capitals. There we go. So this is going to be our URL that we're going to. You can just test this out here. It just shows that. So we'll go to controller if path equals that. Load the index page. There we are. Now if we type something else, it will go to the error page. And of course it won't load each of these, but we can put that in the framework here to load each individual page without having to enter in each one. But if you want to control it, you will have to add else if path equals blah blah blah. Here path equals here.php. There we go. There is another way that I really wanted to test out that I think will be easier to add in each individual time for each page, and that's to use an array and check the array. So we can do pages equals array. We're going to want to go like this. We'll just copy a couple of these down. We'll say this will be index.php. And this could be air.php. And you could type in some other ones as well, but we'll just leave these. Then we'll actually need a for each loop. I'll go for each pages as key value, and we'll say if path equals pages equals key, path equals pages key. What this is going to do is if the path equals this, then we'll make the path actually equal to that. So we can test this out, see if I did it right. Got an error. So we'll console log or echo the key. We'll also echo out the path. So the first one shows. So the first one, well, it's echoing out the path, which is just that. Oh, here's the first path, but then here's the first the actual path, which is just the slash. There we go. Actually gonna add a count. Actually, I don't even need to add a count, just add a BR at the end. So it gives me the lines. There we go. So the first one is checking the path. Does it equal the index? No, it does not. So then it checks the next one. Does it equal error? No, it does not. Then we can say at the end, else. Oh, we'll have to wait to the end. So we'll say make a new var found path equals true. We'll add found path right here. Found path equals false. We'll just say if found path equals true. Actually, we could probably make this a little bit easier. We'll call this URI. Make path nothing for now. I'll go through here and I'll say if URI equals key, path equals pages. So if it equals this, the URI equals that, we'll make path equal this. And I'll get rid of that. And under here, if path if isn't set, path We'll make path equal error.php. Let's check this out. Page not found, and that's our link or our URI, which became the path now. So this will be actually a lot easier to add new pages later on. Just go just like this. And if we have like guides, we could type guides and go guides.php. Just like that. But something that I want to do later on is if someone types guides here, it's not going to go to the guides page. So what I want to do is just check this first spot. Just this part. Everything else I want to remove it. So what we'll do is URI equals URI. We'll probably make a list here. We'll say junk explode. I'm going to explode it on that one. So what this will make is just this first part will go into the first one. Or will it? I better double check. No, it will not. So we can actually switch these around. Junk URI. We'll want to echo URI. There, it's going to be guides. There we go. So we're just grabbing the guides page. We'll actually add URI equals / URI. I'm pretty sure there's a preg replace that you can just cut it after the second one of these, which would make it a lot easier than doing all this, but let's add our new page, guides.php. Go to guides, guides. I'm just going to echo guides. There we go. So no matter where they go, if this is called guides, it will always just load this guides page. And what we can do later on is then we can look for this, and we can actually use that to load in the certain guide that they want. similar to how I have it here. Just like that. I'll actually click on, there we go, there's a better example. So, I kind of want to clean this up a little bit instead. I just want to say directories equals explode this, and we're going to actually explode it by that. And then we're going to say URI equals directory one. Move that there. There we go. I think this will be easier because then later on, if we do want to know the next, later on if we want to know like what this is, we'll actually be able to target that as directory number 2. I'll show you that in the error page. I'll actually make this look a little pretty. We'll say directory let's type actually that, and we'll say URI, type URI here, URL. I'll say directory there 1. Start 1 there, and then 2 here. Just like so. Let's mess this up. So this is the full URL. This is just the URI that we are triggering in the pages file that we open. And then this is the directory 1 and directory 2. We'll use that directory 2 in guides. So here we can say if dr1, actual dr2 equals null, then we'll load the default guide page. Just call it guides default. Add a new file, guides default, down here. Echo guides default. Offset 2. So we can say if count dr less than 2 will load the default page. Else, then we'll search for searching for a guide. There we go. So if you just go to guides, it'll load our default page, which would be this one. But if you actually try to turn a guide, here's where we'll actually search for the particular guide. Like, if we add class information guide or any sort of guide, we'll look it up to see if it exists, and then we'll display it if it does. But I'm not going to do that today. I think I'm going to end it here. And that is our small little PHP framework to load our pages without having to redo our template every time. Would like to also add a note here. You could include this template on each page without having to use the whole framework, but then you'll have to actually add all your includes again. Like here, if you have any extra includes for frameworks, for any database framework or anything else like that, you'll have to add that on each page again. But I just want to have it all on one simple page, so if it's here, I know it's also affecting even everything here. Alright, that's it. Talk to you next time.